So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. My name is Maher, Abiad. Welcome to the Nolimitspreneur Meetup Group, Meetup number 1. So I can't wait to get started. This is about personal development, about growth, about you. And no limits is something I've really come to realize over the last few years. So what we'll do first is I'm going to start going over talking about myself a little bit so you get to know about me. We're going to talk about a little bit about the group and then also get to know more about you guys and find out more about you. I want this to be a very interactive meetup. I think as you've maybe been to other meetings before, seminars before, they're very one-off, lecture-wise, and there's not much interaction. And I think that can get a little bit boring and you can kind of fall asleep afterwards. So your feedback, your participation is definitely needed and wanted and would make this amazing to go forward. So let me start off with talking to you about myself. So my name, again, is Maher Abiad. For the last 20 years, I've been involved in a more of a digital marketing or digital media type role. And over the years, I started my agency back in 2012, but then, as the years went by, we all maybe have this. I didn't feel sort of fulfilled in life. I didn't feel that I was where I wanted to be in life. So I felt that I was struggling, and in my mind, I thought I should be up here, but I wasn't. And I was looking around me, and I was seeing other people who didn't know more than me, achieving more, being at a greater place where I wanted to be, and I wasn't there. So I was like, is there something wrong with me? Is there something I don't know? Is there a magic pill I don't know about? Is there a formula I'm not familiar with? Is there an app I'm not using? Is there a program I don't have? I looked and looked, and then finally it dawned on me. The reason I wasn't achieving the success I knew that I deserved wasn't because of my circumstances, it wasn't because of my experiences, it wasn't because of any external force. It was because of here. It was my mindset. And years ago when that shifted, when I started not really looking on the outside, saying how can I better everything on the outside, when I started to look at myself from within, to work on myself, that's when things changed. Things completely changed. I started looking at my mindset first, and especially the voice in my head, and the way I talked. Your thoughts, that voice in your head are your thoughts. How do I talk to myself? And then I started looking at, well, I'm not productive. Why am I not productive, and what am I doing wrong? Then I started looking at my confidence and my self-esteem. How is that holding me back? And then I started looking at my habits. And I started writing down everything I do every day. And my routines. And then my goals and my objectives. And my productivity and my time management. When I started looking at all these individual compartments and then I started bringing them all together, I realized the whole package was lacking. So I started working on each one of them. And over time, I've been able to grow myself, grow my business, grow myself as a person, to not only help myself, but to help my family, to help my community, to help others as well. And that's what I want this group to be about for you. And for me, my transformation really I started to see a lot of progress. And I'm sure when you start working on your personal development, you're going to see a lot of progress as well. I last year wrote my first book called Time Thieves. It's on time management and what I call time protection, about how people, life, work, everything steals your time away and how precious time is, but we just throw it out, like it's just nothing. I wrote my first book, as I said. I started a YouTube channel, which I'm now starting to grow. I'm creating, and I've recorded a number of episodes for a Nolimitspreneur podcast, which is launching fairly soon as well. Created this meetup group, creating online training programs, starting to get into public speaking, getting into putting myself out there and growing as a person. So ever since I've started that mindset shift and that personal development shift, I've started hitting things off. And then what's happened is I've said to myself, well, wait a minute, if I'm able to do this, what else am I capable of? And that's what I want you to start experiencing, is what are you capable of doing? So that's a little bit about me and sort of my transformation. And over the years, I've really focused, I've kind of left the marketing realm, I've shut down sort of my agency and whatnot, because I realized that my sort of passion and purpose was more on the personal development side, because the more I learned I could help myself, I could help others as well. So that's why I created the group, and I really appreciate everybody signing up and being part of this, what I feel is a community. This is not about me, it's not about the individual, it's about us as a whole helping each other. As I was telling April at the beginning, a rising tide lifts all ships. So I'm really excited to get going and to talk more about the group. I'll explain a little bit more about the group on the next flip. Well, this is definitely going to be that community for everybody. So without further ado, who's ready to get started?
I know.
Let's make some fears go away. So again, welcome to the Nolimitspreneur Meetup Group. So excuse the handwriting. That's why I type more. I stick to the keyboard instead of handwritten stuff. But I'm going to use this sheet here just to quickly talk about what the group is about and who's it for. So as April and I were speaking at the beginning, because it has the word preneur in the title, doesn't necessarily mean it's for entrepreneurs or people with businesses. It is for everybody who knows their self-worth, knows they can accomplish more in life, and knows they want to better their life, better their family's lives, and better their community's lives. So this is for everybody who wants to start taking action, wants to stop procrastinating, wants to start, as was mentioned earlier, enough thinking, more doing. Because whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whether it's business, whether it's learning to play the piano, singing on stage, doing public speaking, learning to ski, play better at sport, your mindset, whatever it is, it all starts with the way you think inside. So this is for everyone that's motivated, and you have to be motivated. This is not about, as you mentioned, there's only so much thinking that you can do before the action has to take place. Because nothing changes if nothing changes, as I mentioned earlier. I realized that I sat around thinking so much, I wish this, I wish that. But then when it hit me, one day it actually hit me, nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save me, and nobody's coming to give me permission to better my life. Nobody's going to come on a white horse with a white knight to say, I'm going to come save you now from your current situation. It doesn't work like that. And as soon as I realized also nobody's going to give me permission, going to come say, okay, I'm going to tap you on the shoulder, and Maher, now it's time for you to get started. I was waiting so many years for my life to change, all those years that I had my marketing agency, and I said, why am I not improving? Because I was waiting for some external being, some external force to come magically, like Aladdin, lift me away. And it wasn't happening. And I was like, day after day, what the heck is going on? So this is who the meetup is for. So obviously, as you all mentioned, we all have something that we want to get out of the group. What topics will be covered? Like I said, mindset is crucial. Confidence, self-esteem, absolutely crucial. Productivity is crucial. Habits and routines, goals and objectives, time management. When you look at one of them, and maybe you focus on one but not the others, you start to realize that you're going to have kinks in the armor. What I like to say is your life is like, when I used to consult people in marketing, I used to say your marketing is like a brick wall. Your SEO is one brick, your PPC is this brick, your website call to action is this brick, this brick, this brick. You have all these bricks in your marketing, right? But then if there's few bricks missing, your wall, your foundation is weak. So with personal development, to use that as an example, it's a holistic approach. Because sure, you can want to better your life, but if your productivity sucks and you're busy doing busy work, how's that going to help you? And not focused on, the right things. If you're focused, you want to okay, I want to have New Year's resolutions, but your time management sucks. You play video games, or you're spending way too much time on Netflix or whatever. How is that helping you? All this wraps itself together. What is the format? So I want to have sort of an interaction. I want to, this is again the first meetup, and that's why we're going to have, thank you for all filling out the welcome survey and also the exit survey at the end, just to get feedback, because I want to service you guys. I want this to be the platform where you can come to get the information that you need to better your life in all different ways. I've been doing this personal development training for a while now, and having that holistic approach and having sort of that community and having sort of that accountability is what's going to help us get forward. Because when you're on your own, there's only so much willpower that's going to get you forward. And how often will we meet? So I have a plan to obviously run this continually, because it's like a gym membership, guys. This is not, you can't just, you were talking about it earlier, you can't just go to the gym and expect results in a day, in a week, in a month. I'll tell you a fact. You're going to go to the gym, okay? You're going to go to the gym, and you're going to keep going to the gym, and you're going to keep going to the gym, and weeks are going to pass by, and months are going to pass by, and you're going to look at yourself and say, man, what the hell? I keep working out, but I look the same. I blah, blah, blah. I'm not like, there's not that sort of monumental shift. But then all of a sudden, what I've realized about life and about you taking action, it's exactly like this. It's the shape of a hockey stick. Sorry, the pen is terrible. All of a sudden, you're going to the gym, you don't notice anything, then all of a sudden, there's that moment where you start to see the hockey stick take shape. This is success. This is success. You have to put in the time when you don't see the results. Because what's going to happen is why people don't achieve success is they give up here. Way too early. I made that mistake. I started so many businesses, e-commerce websites. I had no patience. I was like here 2 weeks in, I'm like, man, I'm not making any money with this. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on to the next thing. And I kept moving on to the next thing. And I didn't see the success. Because I didn't let it grow. I didn't let the seed grow enough. And this is why it's so important to be consistent. Because you can't get here without putting in the work here. The mistake a lot of people make is they look at entertainers, sports athletes, musicians, movie stars, author, like whatever it is. They see a moment in time where they are now, but they don't realize they're looking at the event. Okay, they see a single event where they are now. Okay, but they don't see the 5 a.m. wake-ups to play basketball, or the staying up till 2 in the morning writing a blog post when you don't feel like it, or so many other things, going to the gym and not seeing the results. So I don't want you guys to focus on the event, because it's like an iceberg, okay? It's like an iceberg. Here's the water line. You're only seeing this little part. But for you to see this, you have to see below the surface. That's where success comes from. That's where your success is going to come from. So that's a little bit about the group. Now, let me show you that this is going to be very profound. And I want this to really, I want this to be really memorable. And you take away this, let's call it a formula, or a formula or system. I want you to take this away and use this when you leave this room today. So, how progress and success works. You have, okay, we all have experiences, okay? Our life is full of experiences. When we were kids, when we are now, okay? Those experiences, what they do, I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to kind of curve it a little bit, is they create your thoughts. Okay? Your experiences create the thoughts. That's the voice in your head. Okay? Your thoughts then create your beliefs and your feelings. Okay? How you think, your thoughts are going to create your beliefs and your feelings. Okay? How you feel about yourself, what you believe about yourself, what that voice is telling you. When you say something enough, you start to believe it. So, this is a progression now. Now here's the kicker. The next one is action. We're talking about action. Your thoughts will create your beliefs and feelings, which then will create or not create your actions. You can go two ways on this, guys. You can take action because of good thoughts and beliefs, or you can take no action because of bad thoughts and beliefs. Okay? Then, what happens? Here's your success. There is actions lead to results. Okay? So, for a lot of us, our fears are boiled in this area here. Okay? The thoughts, beliefs, and feelings are kind of intertwined. You may have had a experience in your past which created your thoughts. And that thought you started to believe it. You said it to yourself enough. And then you started to feel bad about it. Then you didn't take action. And this is where a lot of the fears come from. The lack of fear, having the fear to accomplish something stems from confidence and self-esteem. Confidence and self-esteem is extremely closely related and tied to your being able to break through your fears. Because when you don't feel comfortable about yourself, you let the fear hold you back. And where's the fear? It's in your mind. Okay? Where's the fear? It's in your mind. And then you don't take the action. And then you get stuck in your life or your business. And you don't take action and you never move. So remember this sort of formula. Now, let's talk next about the types of fears. There's a number of fears that we want to discuss. Okay? But I'm going to isolate 5 today. How many? 5. Fear of failure. Fear of failure is... These two are really interesting to me and really have a connection to me. Fear of failure and fear of judgment of others. Fear of failure is one of the biggest things that hold people back. Who here feels that one of their biggest fears is fear of failure? Okay. Failure, I believe, the way our system has brought us up, has led us down the wrong path. And it starts at an early age. And it starts at school. And the reason for that is, as you're growing up, you learn something, you take an exam on. And as you get older and older, you want to get into college or university, your grades matter. Okay? So you're afraid to make a mistake. Because now it's related to you being able to or not being able to get a job. As an entrepreneur, and you can relate as well, failure is part of the equation. In life, we do not have a manual. I don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work. As a marketer, like it recently hit me, as a marketer, I'm not really supposed to know what works and what doesn't work. like instinctively. As a marketer, I'm supposed to go out there and test, and then see what works, and see what the market gives me back, and then go double down on that. Failure is so crucial to break this sort of chain that's locked around you, because you're not going to be able to accomplish much without being able to break this one. This one, I need you to know that you need to make mistakes. And you need to know that those mistakes are your life lessons. They're teaching you the right and the wrong. Because like I said, I had nobody to tell me which way to go in life. I had to fail. I had to create businesses. I had to do a marketing agency to then 8 years later realize that I didn't want to do a marketing agency anymore. A lot of people don't want to do anything because they feel like it's going to end their life. It's going to be the worst thing that happens. But you need to fail to be able to move forward. The next one I want to talk about is fear of rejection. So this is about related to sort of your self-confidence. You, as humans, we want to fit in, and we want to be accepted, and we want to not sort of be an outsider. We don't want to alienate other people. So fear of rejection is extremely strong because you don't want to upset people. You don't want to upset your parents. They tell you, hey, I want you to do this job when you graduate, or you go to this school and do this. And you're like, no, I want to do this instead. But you're afraid that they're going to not like you or something like that. Same thing if you go out with your friends, they want you to drink, you don't want to drink. It's all about the acceptance. And that stems back down to your self-confidence. How strong and how worthy do you feel that you can stand up for yourself and be able to move through? Fear of change is another powerful fear that people have. Being able to say, you know what, enough is enough, I want to change my life. You want to get healthier, but you know what, it's just easier to sit on the couch and eat potato chips. Because it's comfortable. People in your brain want you to be comfortable. Because it's easy. It's safe. And if you want to break fear of change, you have to start living uncomfortably and with discomfort. Because the only way that you're going to get ahead in life is through discomfort. When you start to do things that you don't want to do, that you don't feel like doing, but you do them anyways, then you start seeing that discipline forming. And that's when you start seeing that change happening in your life. And that's when you start to move forward. Being judged. This one is a critical one. The fear of judgment of others is when you obviously are afraid. You know that feeling like when you're trying to parallel park your car, and then like you kind of know that people are looking at you, and then you get nervous? Same idea. You're trying to appease others, and you don't want anybody to think differently of you. You don't want you're afraid of other people's opinions. But you know what, at the end of the day, here's the crazy thing. A lot of people do things or don't do things because of the thoughts that they have in their head about what they think other people have thoughts of them in their head. So now we're living our life because, you don't like my sweater, And I'm like, man, he doesn't like my sweater. I'm a bad person. Or like, he doesn't like me. And now I have to act different. I have to do things or not do things because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think about me. This is pure confidence play right here. This is a pure confidence play. To being able to know that you do not need validation or permission from anybody else to be able to do something or not do something. Because at the end of the day, one thing that I learned is no matter what you're doing in life, you could be Mother Teresa, people will still not like you. You can go to Google, I think, and Google Mother Teresa scam or something and find people that don't like Mother Teresa. Or somebody like, for example, that helps other people. If you want to be able to live a better life, one way to do that is to stop trying to make everybody happy. Because I can assure you, the second I stopped trying to make everybody happy, and I started living my own life for me, things start getting a lot better. Because you can't. You can't. You can't. You're driving. You don't put your signal on fast enough, or you cut somebody off, and you didn't know that they were there, or something like that. They hate you right away. You're the worst driver in the world. I mean, you could be such a great person, but no matter what you do, you won't be able to appease everybody. So you need that mindset shift. You know what? I'm going to do my best because I know who I am. I know my worth. I know I'm a good person. I know I bring value to the table. And if you don't like that, that's on you. Because I know what my North Star in life is. Your North Star is your direction in life. When you're 75 and you're looking back at your life and you're saying, oh my God, I had this regret, I have this regret. Oh my God, I have this regret. Oh my God, I have this regret. That's what you don't want. And I don't want that for anybody. So what you need to know is where your final destination is. Who do you want to be? Not what you want to have, the cars, the houses, the boats. That stuff doesn't matter. You can always buy that. Who you want to become. What type of person you want to become. That's what's going to help you not have regrets in your life. And you get there. And what happens is with confidence, for lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, when you're looking for validation from other people, it's because you don't know where you're going. You're using other people and other people's opinions to steer your life. How is that possible? So that's really, really important, is knowing where you want to go, where you want to end up. And by having that North Star and every day waking up and saying, am I on the right path? Because if you don't know where you're going every day, then how do you expect yourself to know where you're going to go in the next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? You're going to let work tell you? You're going to let strangers tell you? You're going to let social media tell you? How is that living? That means you're living for others. You're living other people's lives. And you know what? They have different needs and wants and goals and aspirations. And they have different experiences. And guess what? They have fears too. So here's a problem. When you go and you want to start a business, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to start your own business, but then you go ask your friend who's non-entrepreneurial to say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking of starting a cupcake business. Man, I got this idea. I was making cupcakes at my son's fair, and somebody said, oh man, you make great cupcakes. Why don't you start a business? I'm like, yeah, that's actually a great idea. And then the friend goes to you and, what are you talking about, cupcakes? Man, starting a business, you know all businesses fail. All businesses are hard. Just stick to your job, man. Forget your dream. Are you going to let his or her experiences or fears dictate your fears? And this is something you have to watch out for. When you talk to other people and you tell them where you want to go, often that might be a bad idea. Because then they're going to tell you where their comfort level is. And that could be different than your comfort level. So their ceiling is way low over here, but you have more bandwidth, more, you don't fear what they fear, but then they're going to bring you down. This is what No Limits is about, guys. It's about not letting, and that's the whole definition, not letting anybody else, not letting society, not letting circumstances, and most especially not letting yourself hold yourself back. Because I can assure every one of you can go out there right now and do something you thought was impossible before you stepped into this room. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Test yourself every single day. Put yourself in discomfort. Because you're not going to get to the level you want to achieve without that discomfort. And sometimes it starts with that small step. Creating micro habits. You want to get better in the gym, you want to improve your health, just take that small change. Take that small change. It's hard sometimes to get that momentum, but once you have a few ducks lined up, you start to move. So these are some of the fears, and then obviously unknown. Unknown is big as well because it's like, this is about your comfort zone. This is about staying comfortable. But as I just mentioned, when you're able to live out of your comfort zone, that's when you can start to really see and appreciate life. Why are fears so bad anyways? Let's actually talk about that for a second. Hold on a second. We're here to talk about how we can break fears, but what's wrong with fears? Fight or flight. Having fears is normal. It's your fight or flight response. When you're walking down the street and then a dog starts barking at you and starts chasing you coming down their driveway, fear kicks in. Fight or flight kicks in. The adrenaline kicks in your body. That's good. You run away. But when you have fears that prevent you from doing things in life that you know you want to do or that you should do, that's when we have a problem. Am I correct? Everybody agree? Any questions so far? Everybody good? Having a good time? Great stuff. So having fears is okay, but what kind of fears do we have? And for all of us here today, it's that one of the fears that we just laid out. And that's something we want to break through. And the best thing to do that is first start off by not beating yourself up. When you have, say, something wrong that you don't like, the worst thing that you can do is beat yourself up, because you know what what happens is you start putting yourself in a negative headspace. So guess what you start doing? You start having negative thoughts. Negative thoughts create negative beliefs. Negative beliefs create negative feelings. And negative beliefs, feelings, and thoughts create inaction or poor action. And then guess what? You have no results. And you don't get anywhere. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. Where you are right now, it's okay. It's okay to fear failure. It's okay to fear going out and starting a business. It's okay fearing starting a new school. It's okay telling your parents, fearing that, to tell your parents, you know what, I don't want to go down that path, your path. I don't want to be like you. I want to be like me. It's okay to be in that space now, but it's not okay to stay there. And this is why it's important that we move ahead, that we take the steps now to break free. Fears are learned. So you have your fears that you learn, okay? Fears are learned. The two fears that you're kind of born with are fear of falling and fear of loud sounds.
Sorry, what's this?
So when you're born as a baby, as a child, these are your sort of natural fears that are instilled in you. You know, so you don't walk off the ledge and fall down. That's a fear of heights, and the fear of loud sounds, because obviously that's dangerous. Something bad is happening when there's a loud bang. But every other fear we kind of learned over the years. So you know what the great thing about that is? If we learned it, we can unlearn it. Yes or no? True? And we create our own personal fears. So let's go through an example. Okay? And again, this is where the dating comes up that I was mentioning. So where's our little formula here? So we create our own personal fears. So for example, say you go out on a date, and then you have an experience where you go out on a date and having an experience where the other person tells you, you know what, you're not my type. Okay. So then you finish that date and then you start having these thoughts. Maybe I'm not good enough. Okay. So then you start creating your beliefs because you keep telling yourself, I'm not good enough because somebody told me I'm not their type. So maybe I'm not worthy. Okay. So then it starts progressing and then you start having feelings. Maybe I'm never going to be loved and I'm never going to find somebody. So that negative feeling creates inaction where you don't go out, you just stay at home, you don't meet other people, and you do nothing because of what started up here. And then guess what? You don't meet anybody. You don't find a life partner. You don't find that dream partner that you want. And then guess what happens? Here's the kicker, guys. These results, which are your new experiences, loop back up. And then it's like, hey, see, I told you I suck. I'm never going to find somebody. I'm going to be a loser for the rest of my life. Because your results are validating your original thought. So that loop happens. And then if this keeps going, this is why depression and anxiety are so bad, because you're stuck in a negative loop, right? And it's really hard to break out because the results that you're getting are validating that initial thought. But now let's turn it around. Let's say this. You have an experience. You go on a date. They tell you, hey, wow, I had so much fun. Thank you for that. Cool. You have a thought. Hey, you know what? I'm fun to be with. People like me. You have these beliefs that say, you know what? I can be loved. Then you have a feeling like, you know what? I am worth it. I am a good person. People enjoy being with me. Then you start taking positive action. You go out, you get some professional headshots, you create an online dating profile, you sit down, you take the time, you're happy, you write a bio. Who's written those long bios on dating profiles? My God, the questions they ask you. Some websites I won't name. It's like a university entrance exam, the amount of questions they ask you. Then you start going out on dates. You start connecting with people. Then you start having fun. Then you start meeting new people and things start progressing. Then you start getting the results that you wanted. And then it loops back into saying you creating your new experiences, and then it validates, it reaffirms your original thoughts. I'm a good person. And this loop continues. Now what's great about this, everyone, is this is what creates momentum in your life. That negative situation, that negative dating situation, that literally is like a train that just slammed on the brakes. And you hear that screeching, loud screeching sound. Question? No. Yes?
It's interesting, this part for me, because when I was in Brazil, I used to have a profile to go date someone, and we need to be sensitive what are the results. Not necessarily a bad result means that it didn't work. So for example, I went with this person and I really have a great time, like we laugh so much together, and we didn't end up dating, but today, and this is since 2005, he became my family, he's my brother. So I have a relationship with him that I'm so blessed to go in that date.
Right.
Because he became my best friend.
Exactly.
So
that's a great point.
It looks like it's not you didn't have the result, but then you need to see the result is transforming a good experience.
But you need to keep trying this to keep going at the results. And it's really important that if you don't get the result, this is where the whole holistic personal development comes into play, when I keep harping on it. It's because then it boils down to, you know what? That person wasn't for me. So now I've bypassed my fear of failure. I said, you know what? I'm going to go on this date. I'm going to see what happens. The hell with it. Works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't. Why? Because I'm not afraid of failure, because I have high self-esteem, because I have confidence. I know that I am lovable. I have my partner out there. And the only way to find them is maybe to go through 10 people before I get to them. So this is why momentum is very crucial. And just because something doesn't work, this is why when you have that fear of failure, it is so destructive, because you can't keep trying. Just imagine going on a date, and in the first example, you stop. How has that helped you? How has that helped you? So failure needs to happen. You need to shift the mindset that says, I want to fail, and I want to fail often, and I want to fail fast. Because the faster I fail, the faster I get through the crap, then I can be the person that I want to be. And that's super, super important. This makes sense? Any questions? All good? So what I want to do now, before we jump into the next slide, we'll call it, sheet, we'll call it here. I think this was the last one here, after this. So what I want to do now is I want you, we have a nice bigger group now, I want you to take a few minutes, and as I mentioned, let's make this a little bit interactive. I want you to turn to your partner, maybe somebody new, not somebody you know, comfortable with, somebody new in the room. You're welcome to get up and walk around. I want you to talk about sort of what's one thing that you've really kind of taken away so far, and kind of share that with the other person. You mention it first and the other person mentions it. Then let's discuss that, and then we'll move on to some of the other ways that we can break through our fears. What I want to do is I want to say and show you guys ways to overcome your fears. Acceptance is one. You can't change if you don't put your foot down and if you don't decide that you want to change. If you want to quit smoking, there has to come to a point where you said, enough is enough. I'm sick of this. I want to change my life for the better. You want to lose weight. Same thing. There has to be a point where you say, enough is enough. I want to change. You have to accept that now's the time. So it all starts for you guys to improve on your fears. You have to say, you know what? I'm ready to make this happen. Okay? I'm ready to make this happen and accept that. We need to build our confidence and self-esteem. That's an underlying thing that we need to do. And this is another topic I'll be diving into more into the future. But confidence and self-esteem is absolutely crucial because, as we were just talking, you stop looking for other people to give you validation. You stop looking at things or other people to control your life, to tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. Guys, at the end of the day, you know what you want. You really know what you want. And you know who knows what you want more than you now? Is your future you. Go ask your future you what you want, and trust me, they'll tell you. And then you're going to figure out how to get there. Do your future self a favor. And let's stop worrying about... If there's any one thing you take away from today's meeting, is you need to stop caring about what other people think. Done. End of foot down. End of statement. Because the second you can stop caring, you have this weight lifted. Because we do so many things subconsciously, because we're always thinking, oh, what are they going to think about me? What I have to act a certain way. When you stop caring and you start living for you, because trust me, 20 years down the road, some of these people that you know now don't even care about you. They're not going to be in your life. Stop worrying about what other people think about you. That's one thing, if anything, out of today's talk, please take it to heart. and start living your life for you, not for others. The other thing is visualize. Anybody here been on a trip recently? Vacation? Where'd you go?
I went to Vietnam to visit some family.
Vietnam. Okay, great. Did you do any kind of pleasure? Did you go to the beach? Did you?
It's not that extravagant. I
Okay.
went to the farm. I stepped on bugs. I saw chickens. It was dirty. It was awesome.
Well, there you go. And as you were going, you probably, when you were still here, you were packing up. You kind of, you asked yourself, oh, I need to pack this. Maybe, if you were going to a resort or something, oh, I need a bathing suit. I need some flip-flops. I need my goggles. Oh, I need some sunscreen because I'm going to go sit on the beach. Like, you visualized yourself there, right? Almost?
Yeah.
Before you left. That's exactly what you need to do now, is visualize yourself as the person without the fears. It all starts in here. You can't change if you don't know who you want to change to. You need to see yourself as that fearless person. You're fearful now. Who is your fearless version? See it. See it in your mind. Really start every day living it, and then you're going to start acting it. For you to get to that next level, you need to start acting like your future self. Enough is enough, guys. If you want to break through your fears, you need to act as if who you want to become. See, you're here now because you said, okay, I'm in this situation and I fear this. Your inputs have gotten you this output that you're here with right now. You need to change the inputs. The only way to change the inputs, remember the whole formula? Action? Nothing happens without action. So you need to start acting like that person. If I want to lose 10 pounds in the next month, I need to start acting like that person. I need to stop eating junk food. I need to start waking up at 5 a.m. I need to put my shoes by the door. I need to know what I'm going to be wearing the night before. I'm going to have that plan for when I get into the gym. I'm going to do 20 minutes of treadmill, 10 sit-ups, 10 push-ups, this many sets of weights. You have to start acting it. You have to start what does that person believe? What are their beliefs? What are their thoughts? What do they say to themselves? Start acting like that. Take immediate action. Okay, we're here today, and we are obviously in New Year's. And then it's going to fade. And then we're going to go back to our normal lives, because that whole momentum of New Year's has gone. Taking immediate action is, I don't want you to procrastinate anymore. And I don't want you to use just New Year's to start living your life. You know what? It's the 16th of January today. I'm going to wait till December 31st, January 2021 to start taking action, to start my new business, to get into a new relationship, to better my health, to start waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, to start spending more time with my wife or my husband and bettering our relationship. Now, guys, now. Your future is now. Time is now. This is the present. To get to your brick wall, right? You have to lay a brick every day to finally have that wall. People think that all of a sudden one day they're going to wake up and have a wall. You have to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then you get the wall. You miss a day, the wall prolongs itself from being built. You start today, you're going to get results sooner. Correct? Hit it head on. If I have a broken toilet and I stare at it, is it going to fix itself? If I stare at it and say, hey, maybe it'll start working. You got to hit the problem head on. You know why a lot of people are in debt with personal finance? Because they're afraid to talk about money. They're afraid to talk about money with their spouse. They're afraid to mention it because it's uncomfortable. If you want to solve a problem, you have to hit that problem. Because then you're going to know what actions you need to take to get there. And that goes back down to productivity. That revolves back down to productivity. So you need to say, enough is enough. You know what I used to do? If I wanted to do this, I would have all these little tasks around. And this is the main thing that would move the needle in my life. And I would do this, and I would do this, and I was maybe I should do the big thing, but no, let me do this thing because it feels good. That's busy work. I'm avoiding the thing I need to do. That's why you need to hit it head on. Just bloody go. Fail. See what works, pivot, keep going. Next. Like this meetup today, for example. I didn't know what was going to happen. But I didn't have a fear of failure because I knew that no matter what happened, the next one is going to get better. And the next one's going to get better. And then it's going to keep getting better. And we're going to learn more, and we're all going to mature more, and we're going to all improve more. And that's what life is. Life is not just an end result. Just because you lost 10 pounds, you stop going to the gym. Or you can eat a Krispy Kreme donut again. But those glazed donuts are good, I have to tell you. Those glazed donuts are good. Luckily they don't have one close by. I think the closest one's like, or is that Surrey or something? Krispy Kreme or something, yeah. So, practice consistently. This goes without saying. Remember when I was putting the lines, and if you skip a line, you have to keep practicing every single day, because that's the only thing that's going to start showing you the hockey stick. That's the only thing that's going to start showing you the hockey stick. If you don't put in the time now, you can't become your future self. Your future self relies on the actions you take today. Today, for example, look at now. Okay, we have the end result. We have a meetup group, we have everybody sitting here. But for me to get here, and for you guys to get here, I had to do a lot of work before this that nobody saw. I had to create a logo, I had to create a banner image, I had to write the copy, I had to rewrite the copy, I had to set up the meetup account, I had to set up the meeting, I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to figure out a topic, I had to write the topic. All that took weeks of planning just to get to here. So I had to be consistent in my actions to finally get the result I wanted. And then have a strong why. Have a strong why. Let me give you a story. Imagine you just left work, you're driving home. It was a good day. You are in the car, you're tired, you want to get home, you want to see your spouse and your child. Have a nice dinner, relax. You're driving up, you're turning the corner to your block. You see a little bit of smoke. Okay, that's interesting. Get a little bit closer, you see more smoke. Then you get closer and you start to see flames. You get closer to your house and you start to see flames. No, it can't be my house, it's probably the neighbor's. You get closer and closer, and then you get right to your house. Your house is on fire. It's starting to catch fire. Your spouse is outside in a major panic, yelling, crying, screaming. Our child is inside, they're trapped in their room. What do? Without thinking, you get out of the car. You bolt into the house, you break the door down, you kick it down. You see smoke. You have to get low. You can't breathe. You don't care. You keep going. You start yelling out their name. You go to their room. You open the door. You see them in the corner. They're crying. The second they see you, they open their arms. Mom, Dad. You run, you pick them up. You get out of the house. You got flames coming upon you. You get out. You give your child the biggest hug in the world. You, your spouse, and your child are safe. Fire is fear. Fire is scary. But what happened in that moment? You had a strong why. Your reason for living, your reason for doing was way stronger than any fear that you put in your mind. And that's what I want you guys to leave with today is, what is your why? Related to that story. Because fire could hurt you. But if you have a fear of, say, public speaking, or a fear of, you have a coworker at work, you want to ask them out, or you're kind of scared. Those fears don't hurt you. Fire hurts you. But most parents would have done that exact same example. Because their why was strong enough. And that's really important. This is why it's really important to have your North Star. And then show up. Wayne Gretzky says that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know what happens when you show up? You give yourself opportunity. You give yourself a chance. You give yourself a way to break through all your fears. And I try to show up every day. I say, you know what? Even if I make like half a step, I know that half a step today, I'm way better than where I was yesterday. And that's why it's really important for everybody to show up every day. Focus on that one thing that you guys came into this meeting with. What's that one thing you want to solve? And what's that one thing when you leave, not tomorrow, not Saturday, okay? But at 8 p.m. when you get home, or 8:30 when you get home, what can you do now? Because if you don't take that action now, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose that momentum. You're going to lose that motivation. You're going to lose that inspiration to keep tackling what it is you want. And then you're going to start seeing results with it. So that wraps up the speech portion. Thank you so much for that. Any quick questions that I can sort of answer for everyone? I think we just have a few things to wrap up with. But any questions so far on what we've learned tonight? And sort of like a Q&A, anything anybody have?
How is going to be the frequency of
I'm
the
sorry?
meetings? The frequency of the meetings. How?
Yes, so I plan to have another one in February, and as I said, I want to have different topics because obviously when we start to kind of learn different things about productivity, time management, habits, goals, time protection, all that stuff, mindset training is huge, tons of stuff on mindset training. Then you start really noticing you're moving the needle. Like you said at the beginning, you said, you have a LLC and you want to improve it and you don't know why. Is that what you said? All relates to probably, what are you doing productivity-wise? What are you doing time management-wise? How are your habits? Do you have the right goals are you even tracking your goals? Oftentimes we want to get somewhere, but no, we're not even tracking it. And mindset, how are you thinking? Are you limiting yourself? Are you giving more people power or something else power? Are you giving external things power rather than the power that you know you have inside?
So what should be like until the next meeting? Because I thought it was going to be closer than February, for example. And what can we, because there's a lot of things, right? So what we should work, almost like a homework that is disparate until the next meeting.
Yes. So regarding this topic, each meeting will be themed. Obviously this one I kind of themed it with fear, but the next one could be like, productivity or something like that. What you want to do, and I'll communicate out through the group. And I think it's really important because I don't want just theory. We can all go and read theory. I want to be able to help you guys get results. Because that's what actually really matters at the end of the day, correct? Like you have a result, you have a result, you have a result, you have a result that you want to get to. Okay? This is your you now, and this is your future you. Okay? The result is here, action is here, your thoughts and beliefs are here. What can you do to get to here? And I want you, like you said, what can we do to get to this place? So it's first understanding what do you want? In productivity, I teach that when you set, like when we do time blocking, we write down usually on our calendar, work on book. If I'm writing a new book, work on book. That is so general. You have to be specific. Write 500 words of chapter 1 in 2 hours. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more specific, you know what I mean? So once you have that definitive, then you know. Because you can't just jump into your car without knowing where you're going. You can't just go on an airplane and the plane lands at a random airport. It has to know exactly the trajectory. I need to do this, 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 and this. So this is why it's really important to start at your end goal and then work backwards. A lot of people start forwards now. Yeah, I want to get into shape. But I want to get into shape for who? I want to get into shape why? I want to get into shape how much? They don't know. And guess what happens? They don't get into shape. Because they don't know where the hell they're going. So that's something, if you have any questions on that, please definitely reach out and we can kind of go over that as well.
Yeah, because I'm in the kind of moment that I really don't know who I want to be or what I want to be.
That's
so then
something.
it's kind of messy because
and that's a whole, and that's a different conversation about sort of finding your purpose, finding your passion. That's another sort of talk, as it all relates into kind of one. So it's like when you go to a personal trainer at the gym. You know, you can lift 50 pounds and you think you're doing something, but they're going to put 75 on there and you're like, I can't do that. They're like, do it. I can't do it. Do it. So you lift, got it. I did it. Yeah, I thought you couldn't do it. Well, I thought I couldn't, but I can. Because you need that extra sort of accountability, that extra motivation, extra push. So if anybody wants to be in touch with me on any sort of one-on-one coaching and training, I do offer that service as well. So please see me after. I have a form that I can give you as well. And then also just on your way out, if you don't mind, just so we can kind of improve the group and for getting more topics as well in the future, there's just a very short exit survey. Just your feedback would be really, really appreciated. Not just to help me, not to help you, but just to help others as well in other meetings as well. Like that. So what do you guys think? What were your thoughts on tonight's meeting? Anybody want to say any words on what they got out of tonight from your previous kind of little get-togethers with your partner?
I'm excited. I think I was not sure when I signed up for it, but now I think that it was for a reason.
Yes.
I don't believe in coincidence, so.
Of course. Well, that's perfect. Yourself?
I just wanted to say congratulations for putting yourself out there, and thank you for getting the space.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And you guys, anything to share what you learned out of today's meeting?
I think for me, a lot of self-reflection as you were speaking about certain things, and just kind of just a lot of looking back and looking at myself and how so that was good.
Yeah, you really need to, and this is why meditation is really important, and to turn off from TV, music, put your phone away, social media, everything. Like, wake up in the morning and just spend 10 minutes doing nothing, just sitting, not moving, and just listen to your thoughts. You will learn so much out of that 10 minutes, because when you have your kids running around, you're on your way to work, you got honking horns, radio in the traffic, your boss yelling at you, report, where's the report? You get home, your wife says, go take out the garbage, your kids say, I want to play with you, you get home, you're exhausted, you go to sleep. What have you accomplished? You need time for that self-reflection. You know, we call it meditation, but it's about just finding more about what you want and stuff like that. So that's perfect. Thank you so much, guys. If there's anything else, please come see me, and if anybody wants to talk about any one-on-one coaching, I'd love to answer any questions that you have as well. Thank you for coming out, guys.